Okay, I'm really looking forward to this one. I have seen this online everywhere, but I have not been looking at it, so I don't know the full story. So I'm really excited to be able to see this whole situation. This is another wedding drama. And wedding dramas are particularly like entertaining or annoying or frustrating or really make us feel something, because we all know it's a period of time, whether we've been married or not, that can be extremely stressful. And when it's something that's stressful and out of our hands, it makes it even worse. So this went incredibly viral. This is the Undone by Kate drama. So this is Alex. She bought a dress from Kate. Okay, let's have a
Now
look.
that the experience is pretty much behind me, I want to talk about my wedding dress from hell. I'm going to try to get through this without getting like too angry and freaking out. But basically I got a custom made wedding dress, I suppose. Last year in like September, October 2025, I started interviewing designers to go custom for my wedding dress because I wasn't really finding what I was looking for, and I knew I wanted something super simple. And I wanted the experience of going custom. I did the math of how much it would cost for me to make or to buy a new dress and also pay for alterations. And I basically kind of like combined that. And I was like, well, if I pad my budget a little bit, I could go custom, and then there are no alterations. It's custom. So in my mind, I was like, this is a worthy investment, even though it's very expensive. I meet with like maybe 4 designers, and I ended up going with this designer based here in New York who
Let me just say, we all know weddings price up like crazy. Wedding dresses price up like crazy. But wedding dresses, you can display, hand them down, have them altered, all this kind of stuff. I'm not a hater of people who spend loads of money on their wedding dress, but I am also like, oh, why do wedding dresses have to be so
we are
much?
going to call Kim. Okay.
Kim.
And she really understood my vision. She like really got me right away. The first thing that we did was a Zoom call, which cost me $120, where I showed her my inspo and she drew me a sketch. So this was like the inspo that I provided her. This is a picture of me. And the reason I included this picture was because of the way it fit. I was like, this is the shape of the bodice.
I'm sorry, that bottom dress on the right without a person in it is horrendous. That looks like Victorian undergarments. The top one's nice. I get what she means, though. I
That
get
I'm
what she means.
after, a little drop waist,
It's cute.
super, super fitted. And then these ones I included as like general inspo of like kind of like a romantic shape. This is the sketch that she made me. In theory, like it has everything that I asked for. I remember thinking that like there could be more volume in the skirt at the top, but
Yeah, see, yeah, this just looks like it's like you say to someone, draw a dress. They're like, oh, okay. But yeah, she had volume on on the sides, on the hips, and the other ones.
there was a little bit of pushback from her and my mom was there. They were both kind of like, let's start here. I think they neither of them maybe they didn't like my vision. I don't know, but this was the sketch.
Yeah.
The next step was to go in for my prototype fitting. This was in November 2025. And the prototype is essentially a rough draft of the dress. And this is what mine looked like. I was happy with this. It fits me like a glove. I definitely had some edits. As you can see, there's like black Sharpie drawn on the bodice. That's because the princess seams, which are the seams that go like straight down the front right here, were really wide and straight, and I wanted them to be closer together and curved to give me a bit more of a shape. Also,
Mm.
this is like not a drop waist, and I wanted it to be dropped a bit.
Yes. Okay.
But
Okay.
other than that, like
Okay.
this
That makes okay. So I kind of like wide-eyed this because this is quite high, but I can imagine it down here. It will look nicer. I get her vision. I get you now. I
fit
get you
me
now.
so well. This was the back. You can see there's like a blue line where was giving me like crazy back fat. And I was like, let's lower that a little bit to get rid of that. And we were playing with like some lace, some bows. So that was in November. I don't go back until March, and you're not ready to see this. Okay,
Wow.
this is the first time I see my dress in
Okay. Wait. November, December, January, February, March. 4 months.
the fabric, meaning that was a prototype. This is it made in the fabric. This
Oh.
is what I see when I walk in.
Oh. Wow.
Literally diabolical.
That's terrible. That's terrible. I'm seeing. Why does this keep changing colors? I'm seeing this like crooked waistline. It doesn't look like it fits. It looks like it's like a costume. That looks like a costume.
The waist is like, oh, it doesn't fit me at all. Like this doesn't fit me at all. I'm floating in this dress. It's asymmetrical. One of the boobs is higher than the other. The princess seams have
Yes, you're
not been
right.
adjusted. They're wide. They're a weird shape. There's a weird like bunching happening right down the center of the dress. I'm clipped in. I was not clipped into the prototype. I'm clipped in the front. I'm also clipped in the back. I'll show you. The skirt is like deflated, and like this seam across the waist looks so bunchy and weird. This is the back of the dress. I'm completely clipped into it. Like again, I was not clipped into the prototype. So I don't know what happened here. But I left this appointment freaking out. After that appointment, I sent
Oh, so even when she wore the prototype fit her, so she wasn't clipped in. When they clip, it's because it's too loose, so they were clipping her in. So the prototype was made, the measurements were done, and then they take 4 months to make a dress that's too
my
big.
first kind of like firm email where it's just kind of like, I'm a little concerned. I'm not seeing a ton of progress. The notes that I gave in November aren't in the dress. Again, princess seams are not adjusted. It has not been a drop waist. And like, where did the volume go in the skirt? I was like, what's happening here? And Kim responds, really nice. Don't worry. It takes a little bit of imagination. We're not there yet. Da, da, da. And then I say, can we move my next fitting up? Because
Yeah.
there's only supposed to be 3 fittings between the sketch and picking up the dress, and this is fitting number 2. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna need more than 3 because
So then the last one is going to be the final one, and it looks like
there's
this.
a lot left to do. So we move my fitting up for March to that one's at March, the next one's at May, which is this one. So I go in May and my dress looks like this. Dress number 3. This is a third dress. They don't even resemble each other. This is completely different.
Completely different dress.
Still does not fit me. It does not fit me at all. And in this appointment,
And also the thingy bits are still wide. She wanted them together. I could fucking do this. No, I couldn't.
when I
But
was
you know
there,
what?
I said, you can take this in a little bit. Like the waist could be tighter. Like, look how much bunching there is. Like, it's not fitted against my body. And they literally told me no. They were like, no, no, no. Like, no, we can't really bring it in anymore. And I'm like, but you can because
But
it
you
doesn't
can.
fit. Whatever. They also added cups to the boobs that are giving me like fish eyes. The waist, like the shape of that seam, we've completely lost it and it's just kind of
Yeah.
like sagging there. Let me
Yeah.
zoom in. Okay, so maybe you can kind of see what I mean. But like this seam right here, it has like this weird bunching and it's still not a drop waist.
I was gonna say I think the waist can come down even a tiny bit. Look at me, like I'm
It's
acting
just like
like some kind of
this
professional.
weird seam, like barely holding it together. The cups are crazy. You can completely see them through the dress. And still, look at how wide and straight the princess seams are. Like they
Yeah.
have not been
You want it
adjusted. The
curved
waist has
in.
not been dropped. The princess seams have not been adjusted. So at this point, I'm like, I'm freaking out. This is May. My wedding is in August. Okay. I'm like, the dress is not gonna get done by these people because the notes that I gave them in November that I've now reiterated and I've like raised the flags, they're like still not taking place. And again, this has been an expensive experience. Like this is not like a cheap dress. Like I've invested thousands of dollars into this dress. At this point, I've made 3 of my 4 payments. Okay. There's only 4 payments. I've made 3 of them. They have all my money. Okay. I'm so concerned and unhappy about the dress that I actually reach out to Kim and I say, I would like to move up. I would like to add another fitting. And I'm still not seeing these things. And I need you to execute these things, or I need you to tell me that you can't so that I can go elsewhere. Kim responds, she's like, don't worry. It's all going to be fine. Let's add another fitting and we can have an honest conversation about the progress. Like if you're not happy, I go, thank you. Then I start researching. A little bit and it dawns on me that if I need to buy another dress, I have to do it like that day because I only have so many weeks until my wedding and, shipping, all of these things. Like I was kind of like, I have to make a game time decision. So I call my inner circle and everyone is in agreement that this dress will not get where I want it to get
Yeah,
in
I
the
think
next.
they're not listening. They're not taking the most simple directions that even I can understand as somebody who doesn't understand dressmaking or dresses in general. And this is meant to be a professional.
Like 6 weeks into my wedding. So, or however many weeks. So I email Kim and I say, thank you so much for all of your hard work. I've really appreciated you and your team being so dedicated to my dress, but I think I need to end our relationship here because I'm not seeing the progress I need to see. And this close to my wedding, like I can't, like,
Of
I only
course.
have so many options, but like,
Yeah.
thank you for all your hard work from here. Can we please arrange a partial refund? I wasn't sure what she would say to that. You know what I mean? Part of me was kind of like, part of me was like, she's gonna say no. Like she's like, of course she's gonna like keep the money and run. We have no contract. But the other part of me was
Oh,
kind of like, well, if she cares about like her reputation and she knows that I'm leaving like unhappy, like I'm asking for a partial refund, not a full refund.
yeah.
And I'm also not asking for a finished dress because the dress is unfinished and I'm telling her that they can stop working on it. So I thought that a partial refund would be fair. She responds to me and she just says no. She's like, no, the dress, you need to come in for another fitting and your payment's due. That's like literally what she says. So I get some advice from different people, and I basically was like, okay, if you are like refusing to end this partnership with me, which by the way, why not? Like, why do you want to work
Yeah,
with me
you
if I don't
hate
want
the
to work with
dress.
you? Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense. No integrity, no integrity, no artistic
Mm.
integrity, no like business integrity of like her reputation. No, she's not interested in making me happy, nothing. So I was kind of like, okay, well, like, here's all of the things that I need to see in my fitting. And if these things are not present, our agreement is null, but I'll come in. So I went in. Okay, these photos are from June. Reminder,
Okay. Oh
wedding
my God. Okay. I'm expecting the things not to be done. That's it.
is the 1st of August. This is June.
Right. Okay. So I'm gonna have a long. Oh, for fuck's sake!
Dress number 4.
The
Like, what is this?
fuck.
This dress looks completely different from the other dresses.
It's
Okay.
there has been these are like four different wedding dresses at this point. This is crazy.
I'm gonna zoom in. Okay. I am still completely
What's
pinned into
that?
this dress. Do you see all of those pins?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't fit me. The nipples are in two different places. The boobs are
Yeah.
like this. She did fix the princess seams, but they're wide on the
What?
boob and then they go in, which is so weird. The top of the dress is so high up. It's like cutting into my arms, which the last one was not doing. And the waist, although it fits me better, like at least it's more fitted, this
Sits me
is,
down
look
a
at all
bit
the
as well.
wrinkling and
It's
bunching. Again,
crazy.
still
It's
pinned in, all the
crazy.
wrinkling and bunching. This has not been dropped. This has not. This has
No,
been
it
in the same
hasn't.
place
Yeah.
the whole entire time. This is what the back of it looks like. Again,
It's insane.
we are less
Insane.
like we are like a month and some change out from my wedding.
You
And I'm covered in
at this point I'll be like, you know what? I'll deal with you later. Let me get a new wedding dress. This
pen
is crazy.
and I'm clipped into this dress, including the pins in the front. I'm completely clipped into this dress. Weeks away. I also just want to say that everyone I know who works in fashion, I've shown them this dress and they are all mortified. Like when I tell you I got second, third, fourth opinion. So yeah, it's not gonna happen. I like can tell it's not gonna happen. I'm gonna have to do a part 2 because she does like demand that I pay at the end of this appointment.
So she had this dress in mind, been very clear about what she wanted, and it seems as though they haven't listened 4 or 5 times.
Okay, wedding dress from hell,
Oh,
part
part two.
2. A reminder of where we left off. We are less than 2 months away from my wedding, and this is what my very expensive custom gown looks like. Yeah. So at the end of this appointment, she pulls me into this room, and Kim pulls me into this room that I've never been in before. And I said to her, like, oh, is this new? Because I'd never seen it before. And she was like, no. I was like, okay. She sits down behind this desk with this comically big, like, Mac screen. It's massive. She's like peeking over it like this to make eye contact with me.
Move a
And she
chair.
goes, it's just the matter of your payment. Keep in mind, okay, keep in mind, this dress was only supposed to be covered in 4 payments. I've made 3 of them. And I've had
Oh.
to have extra fittings because this dress is terrible. Like,
So in my eyes, the dressmaking service is not keeping up their end of the deal. You make a custom dress. We've been through this many times now, and mistakes haven't been fixed. It's not good service.
I'm just gonna say it. This dress looks like it's worth $900 on ASOS.
It
Like, this
does.
is
It
a
does.
cheap ass Shein looking dress that I have sunk thousands of dollars into. Okay, so, and I know that she was trying to intimidate me, but you can't intimidate me that easily. And so I was just like, well, I'll pay when I approve of the dress. And she was like, okay, so you'll
Good.
come back next week and you'll pay then. And I said,
If I
I'll
approve
pay
the
when I
dress.
approve of the dress. Like, I'll pay like at final pickup approval. She goes, okay, thank you for coming, and like ushers me out. That really pissed me off because again, she just has like a complete lack of integrity. And like, you guys, this girl works with like all of the New York City influencer girlies. Like, you've seen her on Instagram. Like, I was shocked that she really did not care about just like treating me really poorly. And like, was she gonna let me walk down the aisle in that dress and be like, yeah, Kim made this? And she was gonna be happy
Yes.
about that?
Again, it's a reflection of your own business. Like, for example, as a makeup artist, I always remember this one time I had this client and she was like, I want to be orange. I want my skin to be orange. And in my mind, I was like, okay, she wants to be tanned. That's her way of saying I want a tan. So I was like, orange. So I tanned her a little bit. No, I want to be orange. I was like, okay, so maybe a bit darker. Still not right. I want to be orange. So I got an orange color corrector and painted her face, and she was like, perfect. And I said to her, you do not tell anyone I did your makeup because that's a walking representation of your work.
Like, we have different ideas of like what a good dress is if she was going to be proud of that dress and proud of that construction. Um, anyway, so she follows up with me after that appointment and she's like, hey, so your dress is ready for pickup. Like 4 days later, she's like, your dress is ready for pickup and you have a payment due. And I go, okay, well, I have some questions. I was like, why is it that my dress is suddenly ready for pickup when things I've been asking for since November, they hadn't taken place in March, they hadn't taken place in May,
Yeah.
they hadn't taken place in June,
Yeah.
and now you're telling me that between the beginning of June and the end of June, suddenly my dress is ready for pickup. Like,
Everything's
what changed
perfect.
in that time?
Yeah.
She sends me this chat GBT ass response, just like GPT, whatever, basically telling me like, well, pretty much all of the construction is done. And I'm like, but it isn't done because I've had the same notes since the end of last year. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
It's not done. So I repeat myself. I go, sorry, let me clarify. Like, I'm interested in understanding what's changed because I trusted you for all of these months and I even ended our relationship and you pushed back the whole time. And now all of a sudden you're telling me that the dress is ready for pickup.
With no, like, if I was in this position, I'd be like, no, I'm trying it on again. And we're seeing if I approve.
What changed? She copy and pastes her last email and sends it to me again.
No.
She just sends me the same thing.
Ah.
So at this point, I'm like,
Petty.
I can't wear this dress. Like, not only is it like a really ugly dress that was really poorly made and just looks like a cheap, like, school project.
It looks like if you're like, you know what, I need to go to a medieval banquet event and I need like a basic kind of, not royalty, but somebody who is close to royalty kind of dress.
I also
Costume.
like this girl has like the worst energy. She's got the worst energy. And I'm like, well, I don't want that on my wedding day. I don't want your like tainted
Yeah.
vibes
Yeah.
on my wedding day. Like, I don't need that. So I do have a different dress, and that dress is a whole other story, and it's amazing, and I'm very excited to wear it.
Good.
And so I sent her an email literally like a week ago, because she kept asking me to come in and not answering my questions. So I sent her an email like a week ago being like, hey Kim, I had to go in another direction. Like, wish you the best. So
Great.
that was my second time breaking up with her. And I know I will never hear from her again. I will not hear from her again. She's going to keep my money. She's not going to apologize. She's not going to say, like, I'm sorry that you didn't have the experience that
That's
we
so bad.
take pride in brides having with us. Like, she
Yeah,
has no
right?
integrity. And I mean, I'm not gonna like say her name on here. Her name, I like blurred the background in all of those photos. Like, I'm not trying to blow her up, but best believe I am telling everyone I know in the industry, like all of my friends who work in fashion, all of my friends who work in fashion PR, all of my friends who work in media, the only thing you can do in New York City is like word of mouth. And like, I am not being shy about this experience because I literally feel like she scammed me. I feel like
Yeah.
she never made my account a priority, and in addition to being incredibly rude to me, she never put the proper amount of time and effort into a garment that I paid for. And so I know she's gonna keep my money. She must really need it, okay? And I know I'll never hear from her again. And it's like, it's just crazy. It's just crazy.
Listen, if you make wedding dresses, you know you can make money from that. So why are you acting like why are you acting like a moron? Having attitude and making dresses incorrectly and finding it so difficult to take very basic feedback that somebody who doesn't even know about seams and dresses can understand what you need to fix. Crazy. Anyway,
I forgot a detail, and this is reminding me. In the last appointment where she pulled me into the room and was like, you need to pay, that day, that night, she sent me a DocuSign
no.
with all of the notes on it.
Too late. Too late. You've lost trust and now you're panicking because you think something's going to happen.
From that day's fitting. Granted. Okay. Granted. After my first fitting in fabric, which was like pretty insane, I said, moving forward, I want to receive all of the notes after each fitting so I can make sure that
Great.
we're like
Yes.
tracking.
There's an understanding. They're listening to what you said because it looks like they are not listening to her at
With
all.
like the same goals in mind. She never did that. It was always me following up, being like, this is everything that, like, that I'm recapping our fitting. This is everything that needs to take place before the next appointment. Like, I was the one who ended up doing all of that. And then after that fitting, where she pulls me in a room and asks me to pay, she sends me a DocuSign. And I'm like, no, no, no. You think you're going to send me some sort of legal document? You're going to get me to like sign something? You should have given me a contract from the jump. That's your bad that you didn't. That's on you. Okay. I'm not doing that now. So I literally responded and I was like, I'm not going to move forward with that. Trying to play.
Yeah, no, too late. Way too late. This should have been at the beginning. And, you know, reading through a contract, again, it should be something that protects the consumer and the person providing the service too. Okay, this is Leela, or Lila. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. She had a very similar situation.
Not to pile on, but my sister-in-law went and got a dress done by Undone by Kate, which really is apropos because all her dresses come undone. The craziest thing is she gave a reference, like a dress she had already made for a celebrity. She just wanted the exact
Oh,
same thing, but in a different color. So it was kind of
okay.
like, wait, so you know how to make it? No. We would go there and we would tell them like, okay, this isn't working, this isn't working, we want to take this in and we want this to be longer. We'd come back, nothing was done except for
Same thing as the other
completely
girl.
different alterations that didn't make any
It's so funny because that's what happened with the other lady was, I want you to do this, but then they do something completely not what she asked for, and then it doesn't fit anymore.
sense. So we were like, okay, so we don't want this. I don't know why you altered this. Now it's too tight. We don't want these cups. We want this to be longer. They were doing stuff to the dress that no one asked for and then not doing what we asked for.
Right.
And then in turn made the most hodgepodge. Like you could see sewing seam. It was like literally like all over the place. It was like crooked. And these are supposed to be like straight lines because it was like fringy. I took
Right.
videos at every single fitting we had with her saying like, okay, this is what we're doing. Because I knew the next month I was gonna show them like, hey, this is what I asked for. And this is not done on the dress. And so I started to get really kind of like mean to them, but like I didn't know what they want me to do. And eventually we emailed Kate because she was never there at any of the fittings until like at the end when we complained
Oh.
so hard because we were like, this dress is ugly, it's too heavy, the sewing is bad, the stitching is bad.
It does make me think. I wonder if they're getting the alterations done somewhere else and then bringing it into the thing. I mean, look what we've done. Because adding cups in is so particular a thing to do, especially in wedding dresses. It's like, why would they just do that?
Wait, I'm paying thousands of dollars. Like, what is going on? And then she
Yeah.
shows up and the dress still sucked. Um, but my sister-in-law is like really nice, so she just was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna
Oh, don't
have
say
to
she
like
wore
eat
it.
this, and
Oh.
it is what it is. But I'm not that nice. I think Undone by Kate only cares if you're an influencer or famous, and then other than that, like she really doesn't care if you're getting screwed. Okay, I'm back in bed so I can give the part two tea. Okay, so this was the reference photo that my sister-in-law gave. Looks good.
Okay.
Looks like,
It's like a fringy dress. I mean, is that not kind
okay,
of easy
you've
to
made this
make?
dress before, so let's
I
make it
couldn't.
again. I didn't go to the first fitting, so this is the second fitting. It looks fine, but obviously, like, you can tell that the
Cute.
stitching at the bottom is off, and when she turns around, like, her whole ass is out.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that isn't gonna work. And she said
Yeah.
between the first and second fitting, nothing changed. And now we go to fitting number three. Completely different dress.
What the fucking fuck? Why is it so long? Why have they made it so long? So here's what I'm struggling to understand. It looked great, but they were like, oh, maybe a little bit longer in the back. So they give this, oh, down, yeah, not just a little bit longer, down to the knees.
They added five more layers of fringe so that it's
That's
now to her knees, which
crazy.
was never asked. It was never in the notes to make it longer.
This is what I mean. Like, are they getting it done somewhere else, somewhere cheaper, that the labor is cheaper, and then having it sent back? Because if I'm speaking directly to the person altering this dress, they should know what to do. It seems like there's a middleman who's then passing on a note to someone else and it's coming back wrong.
But all of a sudden now she's like going to the T, like she's a debutante instead of like a second dress to your wedding that you're trying to like be frilly and fun in. I remind you, this is fitting number 3, and fitting number 4, as it stated in her contract, you could take the dress home. Okay, so then we get to fitting number 4. I'm going to show you these photos. It doesn't look that bad. You look at them and you're like, wow, okay, like maybe she got there. This is the issue. And I saw people commenting like, how could you not see that she's so bad? Her stuff photographs well. Like, even in these photos, you can, like, it doesn't look bad, but in person, it's bad.
It
Like,
looks completely different again. It looks, I don't
the seams
know.
were all off, the stitching
She
was all off.
doesn't, she does not look happy.
If she even dared to move, you could see underneath how, like, instead of it being like a half an inch between each like fringe seam of the fringe, it was like half an inch, an inch and a quarter inch, an inch, all mixed match. So if she wanted to move, it would look insane. The dress would look undone. And even in the back, you can see all 4 fittings, we asked them to take it in every single time. You can see there's clamps on every single photo. Even in this last one, it still needed to be taken in. She has a good figure, but this dress made her look like she was a box.
The first one looked incredible on her. She looked so good. Just a little bit more length in the back would have been perfect. That's all they had to do. Lengthen it a tiny bit, not down to her knees. And then, honestly, every time it looks like a whole
Like, I
different
love
dress.
her, I love you. Not doing her any favors because they would not take it in. Every single time they had to put clamps on her. Fringe, it was so heavy that it was puckering the entire zipper, so it looked like so wonky and off in the back. Like, okay, fine, it looks good in photos, but it looks horrible in person. Like, I paid thousands of dollars for this. And I know the girl before said that she didn't have a contract with her, but I know my sister-in-law had a contract. And
Okay.
kind of because they had a contract,
She just kind of
the
stuck.
girl pretty much acted like, well, it's not my fault that you don't like my ugly dress. This is part 3, the end of the saga. My sister-in-law actually ended up not wearing the dress to
Oh, after
her
all that.
wedding. It just was it was too awful. And she ended up, so at your 4th fitting, you're supposed to be able to take it home. She was not able to
Right.
take it home because it was not complete. So they ended up just sending her the dress complete and still need to be taken in. And so she went to another seamstress, but the seamstress was pretty much like, we can't do anything about it. Like, this dress is so hodgepodge. And she ended up wearing a different dress. This was the dress. And it
Oh,
was from
cute.
Annie Zabiza. Comfortable and easy. Obviously, we wish we would have found that earlier, but we would have never had this saga. It was a very expensive process, and I just cannot not recommend this person enough. So, like,
Right.
please beware.
It's so insane. And listen, although something else might be available, like that other dress, sometimes you just want something special and something nice. I can understand why people want to do that. Okay, we actually have a response from the owner, Undone by Kate. I wonder why it's called Undone. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Kate, and I'm the founder and designer of Undone by Kate. You've probably seen a video circulating online about an unfinished wedding dress that was
A
created here
few.
in my studio,
A few.
and I'm here to provide some additional context and clarity on the situation. First and foremost, I think it's extremely important to understand that this bride has been issued a refund. On July 14th, I reached out to her directly and offered her a full refund. I sent her this email, and she graciously accepted.
We will read that. Hi, we recently came across your videos and wanted to reach out directly. We're truly sorry to hear that this was your experience and that this is how you feel about your time with us. While we respect your right to share your perspective, it was incredibly difficult to hear our integrity questioned. As a small business, can't use that as an excuse. Every grown, every grown we create, oh, gown, that's me. Every gown we create represents months of work from a dedicated team of people who genuinely care about our brides and the work they do. Their livelihoods depend on the reputation we've spent years building. So work on the reputation. Make sure you have a good reputation. That's the same for everyone doing anything. So seeing our business discussed publicly in this way has been deeply upsetting for everyone involved. While we may remember certain aspects of the experience differently, we never. How can you remember it differently? Different things happened all the time. We never want you to feel unheard. With that in mind, we've gone ahead and processed a refund, which you should receive within 7 to 10 business days. Your completed gown looks beautiful, and we truly wish you had the opportunity to see it in its finished state. We sincerely wish you nothing but happiness with your marriage and the next chapter of your life. We only ask that you keep in mind that every real impact in that public statements can have on a small business and the people whose careers and families depend on it. You can't use that small business thing as an excuse for shoddy work, for no communication, for lack of respect for your own work. It doesn't matter what, it doesn't matter, that doesn't matter. Yes, yes, we want to support small businesses, but when we pay with our money, we still need a good service. We don't accept less because you are a growing business. That's just how it is. The response from the bride is, "Hey Kate, I really appreciate you taking the time to make this. I was so excited to work with you and your team, and it's disappointing that it didn't pan out. Thank you for processing a refund. Wishing your team the best." Love that. Just to the point.
And said, "Thank you for the resolution." At that point, I thought this would be handled and human to human, the record would be set straight. But unfortunately, that's not what happened online. And any comment proving that she was refunded was quickly deleted, further fueling the fire of this narrative that's currently online.
Is that right?
It's also very important to note what goes into the custom dressmaking process.
Okay, this I'm interested in.
When we start, we have a consultation, and I learn everything about the things you like and the things you didn't like dress shopping. I will never copy an exact dress, but I will take everything that you told me and put it into a sketch for you.
I like that, because everyone's dress is then unique, right?
Then we go through the sketches together and we talk about iterations, things you don't like about the sketch and things you maybe do. We ultimately decided on this sketch, which is the blueprint and what we reference to get to the final gown. And this is the final gown that was created.
The waist looks dropped, so that's nice. Okay.
Your first step is usually your
nice.
prototype fitting, and the prototype fitting is a draft of your dress made to feel the silhouette on your body.
Makes sense.
And we make adjustments, we can change things in that fitting, and we have an open conversation about what you're liking and not liking. When you get into your first fitting in your fabric, by all means, your dress is nowhere near complete.
Of course.
It's very different than when you go dress shopping at a typical bridal shop and you try on your gown for the first time complete and you make alterations. We're actually molding a dress onto your body, and things can change. Measurements can change, design aspects can change, and that's what's so great about the custom process is that we're here to adapt, trial and error, and move through it together. Sometimes no two dresses are created the same, and it's not as black and white. Sometimes you can have 3-4 fittings in your final fabric, and sometimes you can have...
But okay, here's my query. What my query would be, the things that were needed to be changed were never changed, and then things that were changed that weren't asked for then had to be changed again. Things that were added, things that were taken away, things that were altered in a way that wasn't asked for. I want to know what that process is that led to those miscommunications.
2. I want it to be extremely clear that I would never let a bride walk out of my studio, let alone down the aisle, in the state of the photos that you saw that gown in. In this case,
No,
we had a final fit.
We know that was never a query that, it was unfinished. We know that that's not how you were going to send a bride down an aisle. It was unfinished. The issue was the unfinishedness of the unfinished gown.
On the books, and the final fitting is where you get to see your final dress come to life. Unfortunately, this bride rescheduled her final fitting less than 24 hours in advance, and despite multiple follow-up attempts, she ultimately let us know she was moving in a different direction.
Because she felt like she wasn't being listened to.
I have done everything I can to make it right. I have issued her a full refund. I've apologized, and I've absorbed all the costs, time, labor, and materials of that beautiful dress. I really wish that full context could have been shared here before I had to make this video. But unfortunately, now I'm receiving death threats and negative reviews from people.
Everyone gets a death threat. Why are you at home sending someone a death threat because of a bridesmaid gown? Yes, it's an entertaining story. It's interesting. And yes, someone's in the wrong, someone's in the right. There's miscommunication. A fucking death threat is crazy.
Who have never stepped foot in my studio. I'm so sorry that the process shook out the way it did for her, and I wish that we could have gotten to that final fitting. To wrap it up, I know that concerns were raised during this process, and I saw them too. We documented them and continued to work through them. But custom bridal is absolutely a journey, and I will
Imagine.
continue to put as much love and care in every single dress that I continue to create here on. Thank you so much for listening.
And of course, people had some things to say. This is kind of, I'm not saying this is true. This person says, be honest, are you altering Shein dresses? Which, it might not even be Shein. AliExpress, Alibaba, known for their bulk supplying of things. This one says, I get what you meant about your energy. So her energy's a little bit low. It didn't come across as malicious, anything like that. Maybe she's just not a loud fucking person. The final thing is where the dress starts to come to life. Forgive me, but I do not want my dress start coming to life only on the final day I'm supposed to be picking it up and confirming it's done for my wedding. I totally agree, Eva. I feel like the third time should be like, hey, it's all done. If it's a tiny little thing like a stitch or, you know, or a bit of thread coming out, then it's you know, but this was when you're paying so much for a dress, it really needs to be taken seriously. You know what I mean? And I feel like it wasn't. You know what? Although her energy is kind of low, I do kind of like believe that she really wants to give people a great time, but maybe her standards aren't as high as they should be when it comes to what she is providing people. Could it be that they are dresses from AliExpress, Shein, Temu, and she's like, yeah, we'll just stitch them up and it'll be fine. And maybe in the initial concept, she's like, oh, no, maybe let's do this because this is what I can find on Shein. This is what I can find on AliExpress. Who knows? I'm not saying it's that at all. Let me know your opinions down below. As always, I would love to hear your opinions. Subscribe if you have not already. Give this video a thumbs up and hype if you can. And I will see you very soon. Bye.